Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism, here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. Well, today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing a channel update, which is something I like to do once in a while. I initially tried to do a streaming a few minutes ago, and I ran into some technical difficulties, so I think instead I'm going to just turn this into like a regular video and kind of discuss, go over some things, and maybe even some random things that have been on my mind. So I've been doing videos on, what's the signs of seduction magic? Have you been a victim of magical attack? I did one on the Poltergeist movie and some of the creepy things that have happened back then in 1982 when the original Poltergeist took place. And it seems like whenever there is a situation or a movie where they talk about dark sort of things, that sometimes reality lines up with that. The spooky interacts with the spooky, and unusual things happen. I have friends that work in a haunted house, and they documented some really strange stuff that happened. And I don't really think, at least most of the time, I don't think that they're trying to promote their haunted house or anything. I think that, sometimes, as cliche as it sounds, like attracts like. The spirits that are dark can feel comfortable, and things that representing glamorized darkness. I don't think there's anything unusual about that. So anyway, just to kind of start from a beginning point, just to remind you all, I don't go ahead and say this a lot, but the whole purpose of my channel is just to give kind of a basic education on the occult and the paranormal on a lot of different topics. Occult, paranormal, healing, things that are kind of strange and unusual. My goal for the channel is that to give you some information in as brief amount of time as possible. It's not meant to be an exhaustive exploration. So sometimes when people complain that I'm, not answering this and not answering that, well, I'm not trying to. This is for the viewer, the audience, to go ahead and say, hey, I like this. I'm going to go and look more into it. I'm going to explore this further. And the process of discovery is an educational technique in itself. So I appreciate also that you all have suggested some videos, and I think it was maybe 1 or 2 videos ago I asked for that feedback. So I appreciate that. I have things I want to do, but since you all are the ones who actually watch it, I certainly care about your feedback and what you all want to see. I think somebody was mentioning elemental magic and some other things, so I made a note, and I will see what I can do about that. I also mention sometimes that I have a Patreon, so if you are interested in supporting this channel, even in a small way, I encourage you to do that. I've had that for a few years. It has videos, further information on like the second part of a lot of the videos that I have. I did one, for example, on this channel for the Lenormand deck. The form of divination, which is cards, so it's like tarot, but not tarot in a way. So it gets very much the meat and potatoes of an issue very quickly, which I like. Sometimes you can get lost in the tarot with a lot of the symbolism, and get lost, and even in your sometimes thought that happens when you're going so deep. So for example, I have a video on that. I have another one on just general divination. I have one on the second video on the Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian technique for healing emotional things. I have another one on the psychology of magic. It talks about what actually is happening in your mind and maybe behind the scenes of magic. Also, I have a small channel. It's not big, as you notice. We have a small family. So please, again, subscribe and like and leave comments. YouTube has an algorithm that may not be apparent to the audience, but is apparent to content creators. YouTube, like any other business, is a business and wants to make the most money as possible. So what it does is that it really tries hard to boost the visibility of organizations and major networks, major news networks, and it'll put that very much higher in the, I guess, when you're searching for videos. And for the small creator, not so much, because the small creator has fewer viewers. Then you're going to have people that want to advertise, and they're not making as much money off the advertisers as a small channel, so it kind of pushes the smaller content creators down. You probably, if you've watched YouTube a lot, you may have heard other people complain about this, that YouTube almost is at one point was very much oriented towards the smaller people and independent thought and people who thought differently and outside the box. And it's not so much anymore. It's like the tone is, it's becoming more mainstream, unfortunately, because that's what's rewarded. So to kind of, I guess, not really correct that, but to make sure there's a sense of checks and balances. That's why your comments and subscriptions are important, because what that does is it boosts the visibility of smaller channels like mine. So if you like that and you think other people would enjoy it, please, I encourage you to do that. And it's the same thing with Amazon. You know, what is bigger than Amazon? So if somebody creates a book, what will happen is that the books that have the most amount of comments will show up first, and the people that are looking for certain types of books, and the ones that have less comments are going to be harder to find. And of course, if they're hard to find, then then there may be a diamond in the rough, something that you may like, but you're not aware of it because it's pushed at the bottom. So I want to kind of bring that up too. I'm also open to, if you have questions in your comment section, I'll do my best. If you are a subscriber to my Patreon, that's actually a better way, because there's an instant messaging system to do that. And the Patreon is minimal. You can, to have access to the videos, it's something like $3 a month. And if you want to do it for a month and unsubscribe, then that's fine too. That's cool. Everybody does that. But you'll have access to all the videos, and you'll learn some extra things. So, in any case, somebody was messaging me a while back, just curious as to what I've been looking at, what I've been studying. One of the things that I'm really interested in, that's been fascinating, and I've done a video on it, is on the jinn, the Middle Eastern entities that pre-Islamic, it's in the Quran, and all the information about them. They're said to be made of smokeless fire, angels made from light, demons from darkness, so their own type of thing. And they live lives in a way, they're kind of similar to humans because they can die. And the smokeless fire thing, people have always wondered, what is that about? Is that lightning, like a lightning type of thing? Is it plasma? So I've always been fascinated with it because it doesn't fit in a particular category, which makes it its own unique and individual thing. And they are said to be, at least some of them, very much like trickster spirits, and they're shapeshifters. So you can work with them if you appeal to the king, to their leader, and then you can, the king sends them. It kind of reminds me of Lucifer and the Hidden Demons, if y'all have that book. Kind of a similar thing. You approach Lucifer and then you go to the lesser demons. So that's not without precedent in the occult literature. So anyway, that's what I've been looking at. I might do a video on jinn later. I am interested in working with the jinn. That was one of the things, I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. I don't really have a fear with working with different entities. I can't say that I've ever had anything bad happen to me, or seemingly dangerous, or can put my finger on anything that could cause me harm or did cause me harm. And I've worked with quite a bit. So in any case, I'll keep you updated on that. So, dear friends, Romans, countrymen, all of you, I wish you a good weekend, and I hope to see you in a future video. Take care.